Hey guys, Tom the Tinker here. Wanted to do a quick video on ARB compressor wiring. Not necessarily an install video because installation is going to depend on your personal application, what mount you have and so forth and so on. And that's pretty straightforward, but sometimes a lot of people get tripped up with regards to the wiring, especially if you're going to be running it to a switch panel. Okay, so I just hooked up mine and test everything out and it worked fine, so I figured I'd do just a video explaining the different harnesses and how everything can work out. Okay, you're gonna get 3 harnesses with your compressor. I'm running an ARB dual. I don't know for sure if the single has the same. I'm gonna assume they do. If not, I apologize. But for the dual compressor, it came with the power harness. Okay, so it's a thick black wrapped cable. Okay, at the end of it you're gonna see 2 positives with 40 amp fuses in line. Okay, and then a thicker negative black wire and then a thinner black wire. And what you want to do is you want to combine those and put them on ring terminals. Okay, and these are gonna get plugged directly to the battery. All right, you can't, well, I'm not gonna say you can't because I don't know for sure. I'm not a wiring guru, but from what I understand, you can't plug or connect these power wires to your switch panel just because it draws too much current. So you're gonna connect these straight to your battery just as you would your winch, right? At the end of that big harness, okay, is gonna be a plug, and on the bottom of your, let's see if I can get it here, on the bottom of your compressor, you're gonna see where it goes. Right, the big power plug goes here. Then there's a smaller plug that this other harness gets attached to, right? So that's how your compressor gets power. Then on this other separate harness, you got the plug that plugs to the compressor. Then you have these 2 plugs right here. Okay, now these are for activating lockers. Okay, and so on your manifold you have 2 ports. Your solenoid goes here, for your lockers, and into the solenoid goes the air line that feeds directly to the locker, and then these plugs attached to the top of the solenoid. Okay, now you're gonna see there is a one has green and black, and the other one has yellow and black. Follow down along. Okay, and there's really nothing else until you get down here to the end. Okay, and you have 4 wires with spade connectors, and at the end it should be a little receptacle taped or attached to the end of the harness. Okay, and basically what this is, it allows you to fish these through your firewall and into the cab. It makes it a lot easier versus trying to fish this plug in through it. Okay, and so then once all of these wires are in, you're gonna attach this plug, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But if you have a switch panel, everything just gets attached here. Okay, and this isn't permanently set up. I just did this for testing purposes. But your purple wire is gonna be for activating the compressor. That's the isolating switch wire. Black is ground, which we don't need, and then you have again the yellow for the one locker switch, and then the green for the other locker switch. Okay, and so basically if you're running just the compressor, what you want to do is whatever button or port or what have you want to connect it to, just tap it into the positive wire. Right, so I just got it here for right now. If I was to set up, say, front and rear lockers, I would put one there and one at the next one, again at the positive. Okay, and so that is basically how you connect the compressor up to a switch panel. Really, that's all you need to do. You run your power wires directly to your battery, plug them into the bottom of the compressor. Then you take the other harness, okay, plug that into the compressor. And then if it's just the compressor, just take the purple wire and plug it into one of the positives, okay, on your switch panel, on the distribution box or whatever you call it. Okay, that's it. Now, what if you don't have a switch panel? What if you're just going to use the regular ARB locker switches? Things get a little bit more complicated, but they're still fairly easy if you just follow the directions and if you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so this is the third harness that comes with the ARB compressor, and you'll see switch 1 and switch 2, and each of these bundles have 5 ends, right? And so I connected this just to show you what it looks like. There is a diagram here in the instructions that tell you. See, isolation switch, red, yellow, red, black, blue, white, and black. Okay, and then there's numbers on the back of the isolation switch. And that's where, let me see if I can, you see faintly right there, it says 8. And the one next to it should be like 7. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it clearly on the back of your switch. And basically you just follow the diagram and just plug these wires in, and that goes to your switch. And so when you run those spade connectors in to the cab and you attach that receptacle on the end of them, what you want to do is you want to match that up to this end, because this is going to plug into that. Okay, everything matches up except the red. The red on this end is going to connect to the purple. Okay, so you got dark green to dark green, black to black, purple to red, and then yellow to yellow. Okay, and then you plug this in. If you were not running a locker, if you was just running a compressor, you put this in on the dash or what have you, and activate it. And then you see the only other wires that need to be accounted for is a blue and then a yellow red. Okay, so the blue is going to go to remote, I think it is, generally speaking. Yeah, so the blue goes to in your fuse box. You can use add a fuse or fuse tap, or I mean, back in the day, I just used to strip this down and just stick it in with the fuse, pull the fuse, stick this in there, then just push the fuse in, you know. But find a fuse that operates your dash illumination, and then this red and yellow wire is going to go to an ignition fuse. Okay, and then that will give you power to the light, and also it will just know when to turn on when you turn the key on to ignition. But I wouldn't run this without starting the truck. Okay, and that's pretty much it. It's a little overwhelming when you first get it. It's just, you know, a lot of wires, and you know, you don't not quite sure what goes where. Not quite sure if you need other parts or what have you. The only thing I needed was just the ring terminals, because I didn't have them on hand. But that's the only thing I had to purchase. Now, there is a wiring harness available for S-Pod, okay, which would also work for the aux beam like I have, or a Switch Pros, I assume, and it all works the same. And basically what that does is you would connect, you would plug these in to this, right? And then you would connect this into that harness, and then you would just, that harness only has one, just like this, which is why you kind of don't need it. But then you would just run the 3 wires here. So it just makes it a little neater. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip off these spade terminals, and then just, you know, just connect it right here. So you don't need it. It's $18 some places, $30, $35 on Amazon. I guess it just makes it a little bit neater. But once I snip this off and put a like the U-shape terminal in there, it'll be clean. You know, you don't really need it. All right, but if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching.